Один из самых узнаваемых символов Великой Победы.
One of the most recognizable symbols of the Great Victory is the T-34 tank. The Red Army used it to go all the way to Berlin to vanquish the fascist forces. Its silhouette brought pride to Soviet warriors and terror to the enemy, mostly thanks to its huge cannon that engineers installed on the medium tank platform. This made the T-34 exceptionally powerful, as well as mobile and fast. The tank was developed at the number 183 Bureau of the Kharkovsk factory under the supervision of Mikhail Koshkin. The 34 entered mass production in 1940. It was the most mass-produced tank of the war. More than 35,000 of them were made in various modifications.
Всего за годы войны выпустили не менее 35 тысяч таких машин различных модификаций.
The JS-2 is another tank of victory. These machines were used along with the T-34s to finish the war. JS stands for Joseph Stalin. The tanks entered the war in 1944. They would punch a hole through enemy defenses to make a path for the medium T-34 tanks, which would secure victory. The JS-2 was one of the most powerful tanks of its time. It had an edge over the German Tigers and Panthers, thanks to its 102mm cannon that could destroy enemies from 2.5 kilometers away.
Она могла уничтожать противника с расстояния в 2,5 километра.
The IL-2 Shturmovik is another famous machine, the soldier plane, or the flying tank, as it was called. It took part in all the major battles of the war. The plane was originally a two-seater, but its constructor, Sergei Ilyushin, was ordered to redesign it to a single-seater. The military brass wanted a lighter plane that could fly further and faster. That required the removal of the gunner's nest. However, this made the plane defenseless against enemy fighters. After suffering heavy losses, the brass told Ilyushin to go back to a two-seater design, which was done in 1942. The Il-2 became the most mass-produced plane in aviation history. More than 35,000 were made. The Battle of Kursk is said to have been won largely thanks to these planes. The fascist forces began to avoid placing their troops in large groups and found it harder to coordinate them. They called the Il-2 a meat grinder and a plague.
Солдаты вермахта называли Ил-2 мясорубкой и чумой. Легендой стала и
The BM-13 rocket artillery launcher also became a legend. It's commonly known as Katyusha. Despite its tender name, its salvos brought fear to the enemy ranks. There are several versions of how it got its name. Some say it was named by the workers at the compressor factory where it was made, while others say it was named after the famous song. The soldiers of the Third Reich called the Katyusha Stalin's organ due to the noise that it makes when firing.
Первые пусковые установки на грузовиках ЗИС-6 изготовили в июне 1900.
The first launchers on trucks were made in June 1941. The Katyusha entered battle in July of that year. The battery of Captain Frelov fired on fascist troops and armor at a railroad junction in the city of Orsha. In April 1943, the unified BM-13N launcher was commissioned. They were mostly used on top of American Studebaker trucks that were supplied through Lend-Lease.
Которые поставляли в СССР по Ленд-Лизу.